Hey, this is Simeon from PraiseTracks.com, and in today's video, Audio Imperia is going to change the way that you look at the word light, L-I-T-E. So stay tuned. Okay, we're back, and this is the very first Audio Imperia library that I've been able to share on the channel, and I want to give a big thanks to Audio Imperia for sending me Areia LITE. So Areia is their larger string library, while Areia LITE takes a lot of the articulations and the bread and butter sounds and it puts it in a very economical package. And that's why I say that Audio Imperia is going to change the way you look at that word light, because light in this instance means so much more. So here's the Areia LITE interface, and if you have other Audio Imperia libraries, this is going to look very familiar because they have a unified interface that makes it easy to get around. I've got the string multi loaded up. Now the multis have all the articulations loaded as one patch, and you can use key switches, and I've got those mapped to the nano key down here. So let's just kind of take a listen to the Legato, and this is just the violins. So let's take a listen. Now you can see that you have two choices of mixes, and I've got the modern mix selected. So let's just listen to the classic mix. And it's just different setup with the microphones, and so let's just take a listen. So that sounded really nice. And then you've got to control over vibrato as well. So I'm going to see if I can just assign this vibrato. I really like it when they give you a choice to have vibrato and non-vibrato samples. So let's just kind of play around with that. And that's the classic mix again. And the modern mix without the vibrato. It's just got a really nice just upfront sound. And I'm going to turn the reverb off, and let's go to the spiccato, and let's just kind of take a listen to what the room sounds like. So you can hear that the room they recorded these strings in is on the drier side. So when the room is kind of dry, it just gives you a little more flexibility to blend in with other instruments, because sometimes the room, it's actually a part of the sound. It's a part of the sound, and you can't take the room out sometimes. And sometimes you want that big room sound, but it's good to have that option. And I'm hearing that this has got a nice dry. Yeah, it's just got a really nice upfront dry sound. So the staccato, let's listen to that. Yeah, so you can hear that. So let's look at the classic mix and do the same thing with the staccato. Yeah, so you hear that tightness. And you can see the dynamics, the dynamic control is grayed out because the dynamics are triggered with velocity. And with the shorts, you have more round robins and more dynamic layers. And you can see a list of those on the website description. And I'm using my foot controller set to CC11 for expression. And you know, the mod doesn't do anything with the dynamics there. Okay, and then pizzicato. And you can really hear that, again, how nice and clean and dry that room is. Now let's just throw some reverb on there. Yeah, so that sounds really nice. It just kind of livens it up a little bit. So, but it's good to have control over that. And you can hear the difference too in the classic and the modern mix. It's really, the classic mix is a little warmer. Back to the legato. Now let's listen to the modern mix. Yeah, so you can hear that modern mix just really is bold and edgier and a little bit brighter. Okay, so now I've got the violas loaded up and I've got the multi, so we can just kind of go through all the articulations together. That legato is just so silky and beautiful. Listen to that again. Now let's turn the classic mix and listen to that. There is nothing light about that beautiful sound. So we've got sustains, and let me see, make sure, yeah, my key switch. So the key switches, I've got the octave switched way down to get in that area there, so that just helps us. So here's the sustains. And I like the classic mix a little bit as it's nice and warm. So here we go. So you look down here at the bottom and you have a Sordino switch, and so it kind of simulates a Sordino effect, and that's with like the mutes on the strings. So let's just take a listen to that. I love the concertino, that muted sound, that real glassy sound. So pizzicato, and see you have that enabled, and it carries through all the different articulations. So as long as you have that on, you're going to get that muted sound. So I'm going to take it off and listen to some of the pizzicato. Now let's take the reverb off so you can hear the room a little bit. Yeah, and those dynamics just really get it out there. So you've got the staccato. Very cool, very cool. And tremolo. Yeah, and then you've got an advanced section that lets you adjust a lot more of the controls for the reverb. Yeah, because I've got the reverb turned off, but you've got, you know, pre-delay time and the mix. So you've got a room and a hall setting, and I think that's really good. It just gives you the bare bones, the bread and butter, but it's quality, and that's what I like. So you've got different velocity curves you can set, controls over dynamic range, the vibrato here. Okay, now this is something I'm going to get to this down later on, but it's the sample start, what they've done with that. And then you've got smoothness for the legato. So let's turn the legato back on. And that just suggests how the transitions are made between the notes. We'll turn it all the way over here. Yeah, and you can just see how rich, how nice and rich those violas are. So let's go to the cellos. So here we are with the cellos, and you know the drill. We're going to start with the legato. Here we go. And let me assign that vibrato control. Okay, so I've assigned that vibrato control because I know that we're going to really enjoy that. So. Now let's go to the classic mix. Wow, that's just so full of emotion there. Yeah, very cool. Sustains. You've got those dynamic layers. Yeah. Okay. Pizzicato. I just love how that thing, it just rings out. It's just got a nice ring to it. Now let's just bypass the reverb. Yeah, there again, you just have such a, just that nice tight room sound, which is so nice, so useful. Spiccato. Very intense. Now the staccato. Okay, let's just take a quick look at this advanced tab and the sample start. Now, what a lot of libraries do, the note does not start when you just, it's not instantaneous. So when you're sampling like live instruments like this, there is like a pre-delay before you get to the actual note itself. And so that's what we have in a lot of these sample libraries are giving us a lot of that pre-delay. And what it does, it allows for a lot more realistic performance. So right now it's set at 125 milliseconds, something like that. But to get the whole scope of the sample, there's actually like a 250 millisecond pre-sample. So I've went ahead and just dotted all the way back there so you can kind of hear some of that pre-delay. And this is in the cellos and the staccato. And so let's take a listen to that. So you can feel that latency when you hit the note. Yeah, and so to perform it and play it in, it would be really difficult to do that because the timing would be way off. So that's why you set the sample start time to a shorter pre-delay. The sample start the sample further in where it's more bearable and more realistic to play. And then what you do in your DAW after you put it in, then you turn that sample start back down to 250 and shift your track that many milliseconds. And so that will compensate for that, and then it will bring such a new life into that part because it's exactly what the orchestra's doing, the string players are doing. So that's really interesting. Okay, so let's just touch on the basses real quick, and then we'll move on. Okay, so here we have the double basses, and you've got 4 double basses, so that gives you such a much bigger, fuller sound. So let's just take a listen. This is the legato on the double basses. And let's go to the classic mix. Just huge, just and then again with the vibrato. Now let's turn the reverb off and listen to that. Yeah, so you can just hear all that detail in there, and it's really, really nice. So let's just take a look at, just real quick, at the pizzicato. And hear how that note rings out. Just really nice and full spiccato. I forgot that I was working the mod wheel and the mod stick and I forgot, when you're doing those shorts, it doesn't matter. So the staccato. And just rips into that. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, you've got the trills. The half tones and the whole tones. So they give you quite a bit. I mean, for a light edition. So this is a lot. This is a lot. The thing that I love to get into, I love the ensemble patches. So we're going to just have some fun taking a look at some of those. Okay, so here we have the full ensemble. So they've just kind of spread the sounds across the keyboard. Okay. So they kind of spread the sounds all across the keyboard. So let's take a listen. And I love ensemble presets because it helps you to kind of just play and be in the moment. And then you can kind of go back and fine-tune ideas and that type of thing. and you can go through those dynamic layers. Yeah, those things are huge. They get so big. Yeah, let's take a listen to the classic mix. That's what I love, is when the library just sort of pulls you in. You've got the same controls for the vibrato. Let's just do this. Okay, yeah, just to hear it. And you can hear how that vibrato, the sections is doing that together. What a rich motion and sound that creates. But sometimes you want it still. Let's bring it in. Back down. Yeah. Very, very beautiful. Okay, quickly, let's just take a look at some of the sound design patches. And these are like pads, and it comes in just one instrument, and then we load that up, and it gives you some really interesting pads and textures that we can use. So let's just take a listen to some of those. Wow, that's big. Yeah, just to get into some really interesting rebound. And then you've got this slider that you can adjust the start time. And you've got attack and release, so we can, so yeah, so you can do all kinds of crazy things with that. Yeah, man. And you thought this was just a string library. This, so you can get some really interesting effects there. And then we can just move that sample start time. And the attack. And every time you hit a key, you know, when you're hitting a key, it takes you back to the start of that, wherever you put that marker. And you've got a high pass. Yeah, yeah, so there's no release, and so it just kind of cut off there. Yeah, so you can just make that a little bit longer. So that, yeah, that gives you a lot of interesting opportunities for doing some sound design and that type of thing. So, all right. Okay, so just a couple more things before we leave. If it's your first time here, you know, go ahead and subscribe and click on that like. So that would help us a whole lot. And I thank you for all the support. This has just been a fun time together. I want to show you their performance patches. Now, their performance patches layer like some of the shorts and the attack along with some sustains. So, so you can have just a little bit of variety here. And the modern mix is up. We can see that the velocity is going to control the dynamics. So here we go. Now this is the full ensemble, and you have, you know, performance patches for each of the sections. So the violins, violas, cello, basses all have their own performance patches, but this kind of has the full ensemble, just to give you a quick idea. So velocity is going to determine the attack and the dynamic layer that's triggered when we play. I like having that option of having something that can just cut through, and then you can just kind of, you know, just kind of play and just make it. And have those longs. To have the shorts and longs kind of combined is really nice. Okay, so this is another set of performance patches, and it's the 16 violins and violas kind of stacked into octaves. They're kind of playing. Yeah, so I'm going to just use the mod wheel for dynamics, and you can just kind of. And the classic mix. So the violas are playing an octave below the violins. So that gives you a nice full sound, and you have the same effect with the cellos and basses. So this is with the cellos and basses. And I'm going to do the same thing, classic mix. We're going to control the dynamics with the modulation control. So that, once again, just gives you just a nice, rich, full sound when you have the basses and cello up an octave. You have them an octave apart. So here we are back at the full ensemble, and I just want to thank everyone for watching and sticking with us tonight. I just want to thank all of you for watching and supporting the channel because I just so enjoy doing this. And you can hear what I mean by this. Definitely does not sound light to me. It sounds very full, very beautiful, and they've really been generous in all of the different things they've given us in this light edition of Areia. And thanks again to Audio Imperia for allowing me to share this library with you. Just very grateful, very grateful. And until next time, this is Simeon from PraiseTracks.com, and I look forward to seeing you real soon on the next video or live stream. So thanks again.